Chapter 46, A Funeral and a Frat Party. All the Wellspringers, except Eric and Conchita, were at the funeral home, dressed somberly. Tris and Pete, in camouflage army fatigues, sat in the first row with Karen and Debbie Gilmore. Heaven, Gabe, Kathy, Candy, Betty Lou, Val, Frog, and Leslie sat in the second row of the small chapel. No one else was there except one of Harvey's nurses and 10 uniformed military men who conducted the service and carried his casket. Most were in their early 20s, but the chaplain was much older. He introduced a uniformed man who said he was 71 years old, but would not have lived to see his 21st birthday if not for the heroism of Corporal Harvey Kendrick. He recounted the night in 1918 when German forces attacked the American outpost in southern France. Gabe felt a hand on his elbow. It was Gil. Kathy slid over, and Gil sat beside her. The old soldier told how Harvey had shot one invader after mortar fire had killed or wounded most of the 50 men in their platoon. He recounted how Harvey shot with one hand and launched flares with the other, and how he kept firing even after he was hit in the right shoulder and after a bullet grazed his left hand, until reinforcements arrived and vanquished the 300-man German battalion. The chaplain returned and shared briefly about Harvey's life, about his 3 marriages, his jobs, and his 2 great loves, baseball and country music. He invited Tris to the podium. Tris, with tears in his eyes, sang Crying in the Chapel. Gil rode in the back seat with Candy as Heaven steered the Falcon, and Gabe looked back. "He's so cute," Candy kept saying. At the cemetery, Pete and Tris were pallbearers. The soldiers finished blowing the bugle and gave Harvey a 21-gun salute. "He didn't have any family?" Gil asked as they started to drive back. "We're it," Candy said. "What are we doing now?" he asked. "Meeting at the well," Gabe said. "We're going out to do a show. Are you hungry?" "I'm starved. Haven't eaten a thing since breakfast. What time is it?" "It's 12:30, Heaven said. "We can feed you when we get there." "My feet are like icicles," Gil said. "Do you need me to warm them?" Candy asked. "Could you?" he said. "That would be great." He swung his feet up onto her lap. She pulled off his loafers and began to rub his feet with vigor. "That really feels good," he said. "So, Candy, what do you do in this show?" "I'm just along for the ride. I'm not a performer like your brother and Heaven are, but we're all friends. It's like a big family." "Oh, that's nice," he said, as she continued to massage his feet. "What does Val do?" "She's a really great singer," Candy said. "I think she's the same age as you. You're 14, right?" "Right," he said. "And I'm a pretty decent singer myself." Heaven called back from the front seat. "Are you going to play a song for us when we get to the well?" "If you want me to." "Absolutely," both women said simultaneously. "But I need to eat something first, 'cause I get faint when I don't get enough to eat, and it's real hard to sing then." When they got to the well, Eric and Conchita were waiting. "We were starting to worry about you," Conchita said. Gabe introduced his brother. "He is a very cute boy," she said. Kathy and Leslie threw together a big snack tray with cheese, potato chips, Fritos, crackers, nuts, pretzels, wheat checks, rice checks, and other goodies. At the start of rehearsal, Frog asked Gil if he wanted to share a song. I'd love to. Can I use your guitar, Gabe? All right, but please be careful with it. What are you going to play, Gil? Frog asked. 8 Days a Week by the Beatles. Oh, yes, Frog said. John, Paul, George, and Richard. Don't you mean Ringo? Gil said. Frog answered. That's what he wants you to call him, and he can afford to tell you what he wants you to do, but his real name is Richard Starkey. You could look it up. We need a new name for you, too. How about Singo? You can call me Gil Battle. You know, like my brother. We all know imitation is the sincerest form of flatulence, but Gil Battle doesn't do it for the old frogster. Since Brother Gabe's the big battle, so to speak, I think we'll call you Gil Skirmish. Yeah, I like that. Now it sounds like you're already famous. Which is not to say that you aren't, but I get around, Gil, and I ain't never heard of you before. Could just be my hearing, of course, although I waived all my rights and my lefts are bound to follow. Would you like to play your song for us, young Skirmish? We usually practice, and I tell everyone who's doing what. Isn't that right, everybody? And everybody said, that's right. Gil strapped on Gabe's guitar and began to play the opening riff of the song. He was a little nervous at first, but he got past the first verse, saw all the smiles, and heard the harmonies. His confidence grew as they sang, Hold Me, Love Me. There was vigorous applause as he ended with the same guitar riff and took a bow. Frog laid out the lineup. The rest did shortened versions of their numbers, including Val, who played keyboards and sang To Sir with Love. Kathy sat next to Tris in his house on wheels. Pete, Val, Betty Lou, and Heaven sat in back with Gabe and Gil, who thought Tris's truck was unbelievably cool. Val told Gil, You're pretty good. He blushed. So your parents are in Israel, Betty Lou said. I've always wanted to go there and walk where the master walked. What do you get when you cross an elephant with a rhinoceros? Val asked. Gil shrugged. Val smirked. Give up? Hell if I know. The nursing home was small, only 72 beds. They began wheeling in the residents, who quickly came to life as the troupe members poured out their hearts. The show ended with 1 bottle of pop. That was fun, Gil said amidst the hoopla. His face lit up as Tris told him how gifted he thought he was. It was 5 o'clock when they got back to the well. Frog asked Tris to sit in on a meeting with the other board members. Gabe asked Heaven and Gil out for supper. Heaven listened attentively at Mickey's as Gil shared his dilemma. I want to be a singer like Gabe, but Mom expects me to be a scientist like Dad. Do you like science? She asked. It's all right, I guess. I've always been good at math, and I'm acing biology, too. We cut up a frog last week, and it's almost like a human on the inside. It was kind of cool, Heaven, but I don't get off on it. Not like I do on music. It smelled pretty gross, actually. Formaldehyde? Heaven said. Right, he answered. I just don't see why you'd want to go inside a frog anyway. It's Not like there's oil in there or gold or something. Wouldn't it be great if there was? Heaven said. Oh, yeah, Gabe said. Then we could just raise frogs. We'd sell the oil and we'd just play music all day. Gil laughed. That would be awesome. What are we doing tonight? What do you want to do? Heaven asked. I don't know. Go out? Listen to music? Play some music, maybe. I've got a frat job, Gabe said. Starts at 8. I'm probably stuck there till midnight. They have a bluegrass group at the well. Really good. How's about you and Heaven drop me off at the frat and you two go to the well? Then come back later and meet me at the frat party. Any chance I can sing my song? Gil asked. I know some others too. I'll call Frog if you want, Gabe said. Cool. See if you can get me in early, Gabe, because I want to hear you play. Back at the house, Gil was enthralled by the horses. Can I ride one? Maybe tomorrow? If the weather's nice, we'll ask Charity. Gabe, I'm kind of curious. How many girls have you been with? Well, let's see, Gil. By the time I was your age, I had been with a couple hundred. I lost count after that. You're lying. Gil, there's things I don't talk about, 'cause it's basically none of your business. Well, like I said, I'm just curious, 'cause if anyone can give me a few pointers, it's you. And there are some real babes in my class. Larry told me how he used to keep track every day of whose dress he looked up. Some girls keep their knees real tight, you know. But then there are others. Ooh, mama! I know all about his point system, Gabe said. And if you want to copy that, I can't stop you. But women pick up on that stuff, trust me. Maybe not right away, bro, but sooner or later, you get busted. Don't tell me you don't look. Can we talk about something else? How's things at home? They're all right. You don't sound too convincing. I've been after Mom and Dad to get me an electric. Or anything besides this $32 piece of crap. But they say I need to earn some money this summer at the Dairy Queen. Uncle Glenn knows the owner, but I can't work there till summer so I can concentrate on school. But it's so boring. Tell me about it, Gabe said. So, what's Val like? She's about the smartest kid I know. She just started playing that keyboard after New Year's, and already she sounds like a pro. She's not bad looking either, but her singing, I really dug it. Did I sound all right? Yeah, you've definitely turned it up a notch since the last time I heard you. Are you practicing a lot? Anytime they're gone, it's all I do. But I have to pretend like it's just a hobby. 'Cause Mom's already decided I'm gonna be a scientist. She's insane. You think? Give me a break, Gabe. You know she's in her own little dream world. And I have to play along all the time? Or she spasses out on me, just like she does on Dad. I get so darn mad, but he just takes it, you know? I'm sorry, Gibbs. I didn't know things were so bad. They're bad, all right. I'd give anything to go to camp this summer. But then I can't work at the Dairy Queen. And that's just a ploy anyway. They don't want me to get an electric ever. 'Cause the worst thing that could ever happen would be if I wound up like you. That is a horrible thought, isn't it? Oh, shut up, Gabe. You're probably the coolest guy I know. Gabe tweaked his little brother's nose. Maybe when school gets out, you can come up here and work at a local restaurant or something and earn that money. And we can find you a really good instrument. Really? Hey, why not? Hopefully we'll be finishing up the movie. But let's keep this plan between us, okay? I'll need to ask Charity first. And if you even mention it to Mom, I can guarantee you'll never move in with me. We have to handle this very discreetly, if you get my meaning. You're right. I know you're right. He stood with his hand over his face, like he was in deep thought. Let's give Frog a call, Gabe said. We'll set you up for tonight. I've got some strings we can put on your guitar. It won't sound half bad with new strings. Are you in love with Heaven? Gabe shrugged his shoulders. She is really wonderful. I don't mean to be nosy, Gabe, but since she's my date, I just thought I should ask. As Gabe set up his equipment, two of the Frat brothers walked over with a bong. To be polite, he took two small tokes and told them how potent he thought it was. There were about 30 of them and almost as many girls, and a full keg of beer as he launched into Oh Pretty Woman. One of the brothers laid a big stein on top of the amp. It was the standard vibe. Charm all the women while the guys glare at you and dare you to screw up the song. He'd been doing 3 or 4 a month since September. The money was all right, but the jealousy was getting old. Prior to his arrest, he'd routinely indulged with his audience, now being more circumspect. It made those who were indulging seem more harebrained. The first break was typical. A few guys came up to talk with cute girls on their arms who did everything but hand them a note saying they were available. It was stuffy. He stepped out on the porch. A particularly spectacular girl was smoking a cigarette. You really are great, you know, she said. Thanks, he said. Do you have a girlfriend? She asked. Nothing permanent, just a lot of good friends. I'm Stephanie. Give me a call sometime. She wrote her phone number on a matchbook. Where do you live, Stephanie? I'm in Zucker. Are you in school? Yeah. She followed him inside, where she was snagged by a gorilla who offered Gabe an insincere handshake. For the next hour, she focused her full attention on Gabe until Heaven and Gil showed up while he was singing Dylan's Just Like a Woman. He received a nice hand and told everyone he'd be back in 20 minutes. He took Heaven and Gil by the hand and walked to a stairwell. Frog let me play his Yamaha, Gil said, and he gave me an extra song. It was so cool. He's very talented, said Heaven. They walked into the kitchen. Gil got a root beer, Gabe had a Mountain Dew, and Heaven drank lemonade. Everyone else was drinking beer and getting silly. Gabe declined several offers to toke. Thanks. I better not, but thanks. Gil was taking it all in. He sat in front of the stage with Heaven. A few brothers approached, but word spread quickly that she was with the singer. Gil started nodding off during the last set. 6 familiar songs and 3 originals, which were all attributed to a rising new British star you'll definitely be hearing from soon, Sir Ian Halsey. The person with the checkbook had taken his date upstairs. He'll be down in a couple of minutes, they told Gabe. 30 minutes later, the brothers took a collection and raised the promised $125. Gil dozed in the back seat. He's really sweet, Heaven said, and he absolutely idolizes you. I can tell you've been a really great brother, but how else would you be? I was nervous about him coming, Gabe said, but I gotta admit, it's really nice having him here. Thanks for taking him. I didn't want him spending too much time at the frat, 'cause it usually gets pretty ridiculous, and tonight was no exception. They helped Gil out of the car, walked him upstairs, and gently sat him on his bed. We're home, Heaven said. He groaned quietly. Gabe pulled off his shoes and socks, removed his sweater and shirt, pulled the covers back, and laid him down. Gil rolled over on his side. They both gave him a little kiss on the cheek. Charity had gone to sleep. It was 1 o'clock. They sat on the couch, holding hands for a little while. Heaven lay her head on Gabe's shoulder. I thought this house was just a temporary residence until I found my own place, Heaven said. But it's the place where I found myself. I love you, girl. She kissed him gently on the lips. I love you too, boy. Chapter 47, A Strat for Gil. The sun was breaking through the back window when Gil came down the stairs, over bacon and eggs, with Gina purring loudly on his lap. He was still awestruck. The way those babes were all looking at you last night, that has to be the coolest thing ever. Gabe nodded. 'Cause they appreciate music and musicians, unlike the non-muse. The non-muse just want the women to notice how manly they are, so they can be the center of their universe. A good musician presents a serious challenge to their fundamental centrality, you know. That's one reason we had to wait so long to get paid. Non-muse? Centrality? How do you know all this? Observation and analysis, my friend. You learn as you go. They heard hoofbeats and saw Charity and Heaven riding in the distance. Can we, Gabe? Please? Sure, Gibbs. Go put your shoes on. Charity led Gil for a walk on the smallest horse, while Heaven and Gabe rode away. Soon they were side by side, galloping along a trail behind the house. The rhythm of the horses and the cool air in Gabe's face as the trees flew by added to Heaven's allure. He was totally into her now. Mucking stalls and brushing the horses, Gil told Gabe he'd give anything to be able to live there. Gabe warned him again that even mentioning the possibility to their mother was a guarantee it would never happen. Wellspring gave a stirring performance at a nursing home in McFadden, but they quickly disbanded afterward. Kathy's face lit up when Gabe invited her to have lunch and go riding. The aroma of homemade pizza filled the house as Charity greeted Kathy with a kiss on the cheek. We're honored to have you join us, Kat. I'm honored to be here. I think what you all do is extraordinary, Charity said. I only hope when I'm in my twilight years, I'll have someone young and beautiful like you to come and see me. I'll be pushing 60 then, Kathy said. Charity laughed heartily. I heard about your comedic flair. Just another frog disciple, Kathy said. You should have heard him, Charity, Gil said. He sang a song about a stalker that killed his cat, and smashed his fish tank with a cricket bat. And you played your song too, didn't you? Charity said. Uh-huh. I almost forgot the words 'cause I was nervous, but I remembered them just in time. Can you play it for me? Charity asked. Gil played Teenager in Love on Gabe's guitar. He was loudly applauded by the three women. After dinner, they saddled up 5 horses. Charity helped Kathy get started. Gil rode along with Heaven and Gabe, cautiously at first, but soon they were galloping along the landscape. Later, the brothers watered, fed, and brushed down the horses. Back inside, they entertained, including a raucous, charity-led group sing of Dancing in the Street. It was almost 10 when Kathy asked for a ride to her dorm. As they pulled out onto the street, Gabe reached for Kathy's hand. She squeezed it. Thanks for a wonderful day, she said. Everything okay? Yeah, this was just what I needed, even if I can't keep up with you and Gil in Heaven just yet. My Heine's raw, but I couldn't let him leave me in the dust, could I? She's really sweet, Gabe. Totally unlike what I thought when I first met her. Charity? She is too, but I'm in Heaven. I guess I was jealous. I saw her as a rival. She does love Tris, and who would blame her? But she knows how he feels about you, and she respects that. She's not trying to take him away, Kat. Not that I think for 1 minute she or anyone else could. He loves you. That's one thing that's crystal clear. I know he loves me, Gabe, but I don't think he needs me. At least not the way I need him. Sure he does. He never talks about getting married or having kids. Is that what you want, Kat? Someday. Do you talk to him about it? No. Why not? She clenched her jaw. I don't want him to feel like I'm rushing him or like I take these things for granted, you know? So it doesn't mean you don't need him just because you don't talk about it. No. So don't you think he feels the same way, not wanting to rush you? She pinched his cheek. I don't know what I'd do without you, Gaby. I really don't. He giggled. Glad I could help, ma'am. They sat outside her dorm. She told him how things were going in Philadelphia for Tris. He always says positive things, but he's dealing with a lot of church politics there. I only know about it from Karen. What did she say? They don't want him playing Beatles songs, or jazz, or soul, the music he really likes. Gabe was indignant. What's he supposed to play? Church songs, hymns. It's not Reverend Piper. It's the church board. They think jazz and rock are the devil's music. That is ridiculous. What bothers me is he keeps it all to himself. But that's who he is, Kat. I'm sure it's part of why you love him so much. He doesn't let things bother him. He just keeps moving forward. I, on the other hand, let a multitude of things bother me, although I've cut back to 1 pack of troubles a day. Leslie was excited. Frog's getting his real estate license. Candy put down her spoon. I thought he was going to law school. He is, Leslie said. He already got accepted at Villanova, but he wants to go to Yale. That's where his father went. I think he's a cinch to get in there, too. Okay, so why's he getting a real estate license, Kathy asked. So's he can make enough money to pay for law school instead of taking out loans. He wants to defer law school for a year or even two. And I'm taking classes this summer and next so I can graduate when you do. I don't know how you do it, Candy said. Where's Lynn? Leslie sighed. You must not have heard. Heard what? She was out with Howie Saturday, and his other girlfriend showed up and started screaming. Now she won't talk to him. He calls, but she just stares at the TV. She won't even come out of the room. I don't even know if she's eating. Maybe you could talk to her, Kathy? I've tried. Walking the mile to Mickey's as German phrases he'd never use swam through his head. He pretended not to see the stunner he'd met at the frat party, standing under the copier store awning. Hey, Gabe, hi. Remember me? Oh, hi. Yes. How are you, Stephanie? Pretty fair, Gabe, considering it's another Monday. Are you playing anywhere this weekend? Tau Kappa Omega, Saturday night. TKO. Cool. I'll be there. Definitely. Are you bringing a date? I haven't thought that far ahead. You said you didn't have anyone permanent, right? Right. Do you want to pick me up at my dorm? Or I can just meet you there. I'll pick you up. 7:30, okay? Fantastic. Do you still have my phone number? It's in my guitar case. What's your number? He wrote it down for her. I'm meeting some people for lunch, Stephanie. I've got to run. But I'll see you Saturday night, 7:30. You're in Zucker, right? You remembered, she said. She wrapped her arms around him. His heart raced as he looked into her eyes. She gave him an exquisitely slow French kiss. See you Saturday, Gabe. Call me anytime, okay? Okay, Stephanie. I will. I better run. I'll see ya Saturday. Bye now, Gabe, she said. He stumbled down University Avenue, taking a series of deep breaths. His senses were saturated with the sensation of her body against his, the smell of her ambush, and the savory zip of her amazing tongue. As he arrived at Mickey's, Gil ran out. He threw his arms around his big brother and buried his head in his chest. You're the best brother in the whole world. I am? Wait till you see what I got, he said. Charity and Heaven were waiting at a corner booth. Gabe saw the open guitar case and the Buddy Holly model Fender Stratocaster. It was in the window at the music store, Charity said. I couldn't resist. I want to get you one, too, but I didn't know which model you prefer. Gabe burst into tears. Heaven reached for his hand. It's just that we love you so much, Charity said, and we want you to have everything. How are your classes? I don't even know what they're talking about anymore, Charity. I flunked my second quiz in a row for sure. Well, listen, dear, Charity said. I found a tutor for your chemistry class. He's coming to the house on Wednesday. He says he can get you up to B level in 4 weeks. The waiter took their order. Gil talked about his Tai Chi class. I figured it was mostly punching and kicking, but it's way better. Eric's like a waterfall. He stood up in one of the poses. I gotta find a teacher after I get back. Think they'll let me? Possibly, Gabe said, but I wouldn't go home, hook up the Strat, crank the amp, start blasting and say, I want to study Tai Chi too, Mom. Can I? After lunch, Heaven and Gabe rode up to a small industrial park on the outskirts of Cross. "Have you ever known anyone as generous as Charity?" he asked. "Tris bought Christmas presents for everyone," Heaven said. "Nice things. And he gave Eric his father's Fender Rhodes. And he set Betty Lou up in business. And paid my bail," Gabe said. "Wouldn't let me pay him back. Put me up in a hotel. Gave me his brother's bass. And Kathy's folks, they gave me a new suit and fancy shoes. Judy styled my hair. It's all God. I just know it," Heaven said. Charity let them in. She and Heaven began measuring the rooms, discussing what each would be used for and what furniture and equipment would be needed. Charity showed them catalogs with things they were buying to simulate the high school dance, Ricky's bedroom, Buddy Holly's dressing room, and hospital room props that looked just like the real instruments and machines. "We're doing the soda shop scenes at Mickey's," Gil said. "He's giving us free rein between 2 and 6 a.m. for 4 days in May," Charity said. Kathy knocked on the door. "Who is it?" "Kathy." "What do you want?" "I've got the notes from Keating." "Just slide them under the door. I'm sick. I don't want you to get what I've got." "Are you okay, Lynn?" "Didn't you hear what I just said? I'm sick. I have some Vicks. Do you like Alka-Seltzer?" "Oh, yeah. I could freaking live on this stuff." "Can I come in?" "Sure, Kath. Please, come in." Lynn was lying on her belly, leaning on her elbow, watching Days of Our Lives. "The lousy scumbag raped his brother's wife, and now she's having his kid. Only his brother doesn't know about the rape. She told their father about it, but he thinks if Chase finds out, it'll kill him, or he'll kill Bill. So he made her promise she wouldn't tell anybody, but she already told her sister, and her sister told their aunt." Kathy nodded. "We all know how fast these rumors can travel." Gil sat with Gabe in the music room at the Student Union building. "This is an amazing instrument," Gabe said. "It sure is. Are you still in love with Cindy?" "I don't know. I still think about her." "Why?" "I just think she married the wrong guy. She would have been much happier with you." "Nice of you to say that, bro. But Cindy's mom and Jimmy Joe's had it all planned for a long time, and she got a bunch more stuff than I could have given her." "I guess. But Jimmy Joe Hoskett? Any chick with half a brain takes you. He caught 3 passes the whole year." "Sure. And I rooted against the Pack every week, and I enjoyed watching him rot on the bench." "So you are still in love with her?" "I really can't see us getting together, Gil." "Why not?" "Why not? 'Cause we had our chance and we missed it. Twice. You're lucky if you get even one shot when it comes to that kind of love. I was willing to give up everything and be nothing, Gibbs, just to be with her, but it wasn't enough. Cindy's a babe, but I think Kevin and Kat are both cuter and smarter and sexier and a lot more fun. And they're both in love with Tris," Gabe said. "Heaven is too?" "Yeah. He is a great guy, but so are you, Gabe. And you are too. I think you're going to break a few hearts before you're finished." "I don't want to break anyone's heart," Gil said. "What I mean is girls like you." "Yeah, That's why Mike wouldn't leave me alone. He liked Melinda, and she kind of liked me. We never did anything, just talked a couple times, but he went nuts. Guess I challenged his centrality, maybe, like you did with Jimmy Joe, huh? Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. I'm getting sleepy, pal. I can't believe I'm the owner of a Fender Stratocaster. Ginny called Kathy from Niagara Falls. We're not coming back till Monday. He really stood up to Randy and his parents too. He looked him right in the eye and said, "If you can't respect me and my wife, just leave us alone." How'd that go over? Oh, they were shocked, Kath, let me tell you. He's always been so mellow, but he let them know good and proper. He didn't pull any punches. Best believe it felt good. Way to go, Link, Kathy said. Yeah. How's Gabe? Real good. His little brother's in town, and we went riding Sunday. Thursday night, a bunch of us are going out. Nate was stoned when Gabe arrived in his Buddy Holly glasses. He handed Nate $100 bill, whipped out his guitar, and sang, "Every day my lips are getting closer," complete with head bobs and shoulder twitches. Tell me what you think of this, Nate. Whenever Ricky wants to see her, he plays that song and she appears. I like it. They're slow dancing to the music on the jukebox in the soda shop. The song ends and she disappears. He searches in the woods and finds her cottage. She motions to him, "Come here, Ricky." She's sitting on her bed, looking like a dream. Oh man, I'm getting goosebumps. He takes her hand. She gives him the look. They kiss, a long, slow, romantic kiss. Then they're lying down. He starts to pull her dress down over her shoulder, ever so slowly. 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. They kiss again. Wow, Gabe, what a turn on. That's when it happens. Wham! She slaps his face. Suddenly, he wakes up in his hospital room with his mom and Lisa right there. Wow! I freaking love it, Nate said. Is that where it ends? Try this on. He sits up in bed and asks for his guitar. He plays every minute, every hour, every day. The lights dim. Now he's playing it in the gym with his new band. Buddy Holly's talking to Richie Valens in the crowd. They're smiling and nodding. "Good job," Richie says. The credits roll. "You are inspired, man," Nate said. "We better write this all down. I don't want to lose any of it." They had a complete outline an hour later. Nate heated up a can of ravioli. He lit up a reefer. Gabe politely declined. "Who are you?" Nate said. "And what have you done with my friend?" "We welcome you to F&G Studios," Joseph Grappelli said, as Charity passed out goblets to the 20 in attendance. He brought out 2 bottles of champagne, popped the corks, and filled each glass halfway. He raised his goblet. "To the Strawberry Lady, May she live, breathe, and light up the screen. To Ricky Payton, may he awaken to hear his songs sung across the land. And to Charity Fry, may she always believe the incredible, see the invisible, and do the impossible. Dunk, Noodles, and Casey from the Migraines came to the Fry mansion in the afternoon with Conchita and Eric. They rode horses and jammed with Gil. That evening, they all rode up to What's in Vaughn's Landing for Gil's going-away party. Kieran, Pete, Christoph, Val, and Betty Lou had already arrived. Grappelli was there with his two graduate assistants, Jason Schilling and Hector Chavez. Frog, Leslie, Kathy, Candy, and Luke showed up a few minutes later. They filled their plates and listened to a jazz band. Gabe and Kathy stepped out on the veranda. It's been an amazing day, Kat. I knew you'd like it here. Yeah, these musicians are stellar, all right, and the food's great. But I also couldn't help but notice once again how unbelievably beautiful you are. She slipped her hand into his jacket pocket and pulled him toward her. He held her gently as a stiff breeze rushed through her hair. Gil's having the time of his life, she said. I can't believe how fast this week went, he said. Gonna miss him? Yeah. The club closed at midnight. The phone was ringing at Charity's when they arrived. Lydia Horevich was livid. You took your brother to a juke joint? For pity's sake, Gabriel, don't you have any sense at all? But why would you? Let me talk to Gilbert. After she berated Gil, Charity tried to placate her. Both your sons are fine young men, Mrs. Horevich. You've obviously done a terrific job raising them. Gabriel does so much work around here, and he never gives me any problems. And Gilbert has been delightful. We wanted his last night here to be really special. This only made Lydia more abusive. Gabe got back on the phone. You're not really going to ground Gil, are you? We were chaperoned the whole time. And as Mrs. Fry said, he made a lot of friends. Don't hand me that drivel, Gabriel. I wasn't born yesterday. Can I talk to Dad? He went to sleep. You just make sure Gilbert's on that bus, or there will be consequences. You're on very thin ice, young man. Do I make myself clear? Sure, Mom. He hung up the phone. Why does she always have to ruin everything? Gil asked tearfully.